What is up, everybody? I am Jeremy, and this is 5481 Podcast. Let's get into the world of hockey. Last night, the Vancouver Canucks hosted the Detroit Red Wings. First time since their overtime loss with a penalty shot scored by Wallman, who danced the gritty celebration. I don't know. We'll talk about that, if that's even how you feel about that. You know, like, how do you feel about somebody celebrating a goal like that? Is that a show off? Are you angry? I think in that situation it was acceptable. You know, it was like a leading off home run. It was the game winner. It wasn't just like second period goal showing off like that. It was like signed, sealed, delivered, game over, we're in home, the fans are happy. I'm okay with that, you know. But if you're away and it's the first period and you score, 10 minutes into the first period, you score a goal and you're that hyped, I think that's a little ridiculous. But I think with the game winner, everybody's at home, pumped. Let's go. Get the fans going. Let's go. Let's hear it, But let's get back to this. So last night, the Canucks beat the Detroit Red Wings 4-1. Lindholm scored twice, and Thatcher Demko made 27 saves with their 4-1 victory. Nikita Zadorov scored his first goal as a Vancouver Canuck. JT Miller added a goal, and Elias Pettersson actually had 3 assists. So right now the Canucks improved to a 37-12-6, good for 80 points. They are 6 points above the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins and also the Dallas Stars. So they are just leading the league right now with no messing around. So shots on goal were 28 for the Detroit Red Wings, 21 for the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver was leading with hits with 19. Face-offs, also the Canucks were good in the circle that last night. They won 30 to Detroit Red Wings 24. Power plays, we still can't get it. The power plays 0 for 2. Detroit was 0 for 5. We had 12 penalty minutes. So we need to stay out of that box for sure. And our giveaways. We had 7 giveaways that game. I think we coughed a couple like in our own zone. But we had a nice... we got 14 blocks. I'm pretty sure Lindholm actually had like 2 or 3 on his own. But yeah, it was a really good game. It felt like a playoff game for sure. Detroit and Vancouver having that kind of gritty incident kind of attitude kind of made it like almost like they were head-to-head wanting some revenge for sure. You could tell that. Because Zadorov, actually, that's his first game back since that hit against Raymond. He was suspended 2 games for. This was actually his first game back. And he actually smoked. he came out and he actually did lay out Raymond right away. So the suspension didn't scare him. He's still playing. He said in an interview afterwards that he's going to play his style of game, and that's just how he's going to play. And that's good because that's what we want. You know, we just want him to be scoring more like he did with Calgary last year. I think he had 14 goals last year. But, you know, play that physical. That's what we want. It's nice to see that and that he's not scared to. And also, Höglander gets a high stick on Wallman, and it didn't look it was intentional or anything. He kind of swung around. Yeah, he hit him, and then right after that play, Zadorov was skating by and he kind of does this little gritty and just kind of like says, "Stick it to you, man." But again, what is your opinion on the gritty or a show-off boat? Or it's creating this rivalry, and it's nice to see because the Canucks don't really have a rivalry. I guess it's kind of the Boston Bruins. Like, we it's like our kryptonite sometimes when a meaningful game, the Boston Bruins come to town, and like the last game we just played Boston, we laid an egg 4-0. We were all pumped. Everyone was pumped. It was all talked about on the radios. But we are the two best teams, you know, like East versus West, top teams in the league, and we didn't show up. You know, we didn't. It looked like a pro team versus a beer league team. Like they were out hitting us, they were pushing us around, but that's what we need to work on, our physical and not buckling under that pressure. We for sure buckled under pressure. That is one thing that we need to improve on, pressure, and we have done a lot better this year compared to last year. We don't give up, and Canucks just keep going. It's not like last year it'd be like, oh, they're losing by 2 in the third, it's over. This year, losing by 2 in the third, we probably will win by 2. You know, it's a totally different team for sure. And the other big news out in Canucks land, the big Phil the Thrill Kessel. What is your thoughts on the Phil and the tryout in Abbotsford? There's some videos out there. He was looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. If you watch the videos, for being out since last playoffs. Last playoffs, he only played 4 games with the Vegas Golden Knights. But he did play 82 games last year with 14 goals, 22 assists for 36 points. And he was a -7. Like, he played really good last year for, you know, 3rd, 4th liner. Again, he only played 4 games in the playoffs. And he had 0 goals, 2 assists. He was a +2. But he hasn't played since then. And now he's going to try and jump right into a NHL league game. Do you think that is a good idea? And what is he asking for? I think the minimum is $750,000. We don't have to give up anything. Is this a good idea? Like, you're paying for the name. Like, yeah, he can assist you. He's not going to bring you checking for hardcore forechecking, especially straight out the gate. What are you expecting if you get Phil the Thrill Kessel? You're paying for the name. He's not the goal scorer. He's not going to have any real speed like he did. And it's just sad because he's going to be a 4th line, maybe 3rd, and someone's going to lose that spot. DiGiuseppe, Lafferty, who knows? Mikheyev, who would lose that spot that deserves to be there, that is trying, that's hustling, that's forechecking, that's playing a 200-foot game. Phil doesn't play a 200-foot game. I don't think. He played with Tocchet in Pittsburgh, and I'm not quite sure if Taka was the coach in Arizona, but he was playing with Garland for a little bit. I don't think they really were on a line together, but so he does know Garland, I guess, but I don't know. In one hand, I say yes. It's only a $750,000 contract. You're not really giving up assets, but you're gonna lose a good DiGiuseppe, Lafferty. You know, you're gonna lose a winger that is like hustling and playing that 200-foot game. And Kessel is just going to be there. Just take someone's spot. And that's kind of I'm not okay with. The team is good now. Just kind of leave it. I think maybe another D. Do you need a high D? But Julesen's playing really good too. I'm very impressed with Julesen. Julesen, for sure. I think he's, compared to beginning of the year, night and day. So what are your thoughts on Phil the Thrill Kessel? There was that video, a little tryout video. He's doing some drills. He looked pretty good, but I don't know if it was at the end or the first couple drills. He's just hunched over and he's breathing pretty deep. I heard he was out with a skating coach or something, but I don't know. It doesn't look like he was like pushing it that hard. So who knows? Again, do you think it'd be worth Phil the Thrill to be on the Canucks for 2 months, 3 months? So I don't think so. I think we should just leave him. Rumor has it that he's going to be asking more than the bare minimum because you're going to be paying for the name. He has 3 Stanley Cups, and he has the right to do that. I'm worth this. I got 3 cups. What do you have? And as Vancouver Canucks, we have nothing. So it was just a opinion on that, what you think about Phil Kessel, because who knows? He could be coming to the Canucks, or he might. I heard there's a couple other teams interested. Are they using this tryout also as a window of what he's going to look like? So let's see how that goes. Good luck to him, and if he does play with us, I hope he can give us, well, how many more months is left? So March, April, May, June. Well, if we go to the playoffs, 3 months, 4 months. Let's just hope for that. So keep your eyes open. I heard it might be later next week of a decision, maybe, if they're going to sign Phil. So let's see where that goes. I'm just sad that someone that's really trying to make it is going to lose their spot. And especially on a good team. They worked hard. The team's been working, like DiGiuseppe. Yeah, he started off the first line. He's dropped down, but he's good in the fourth, third line. Forechecking hard at guys. He can be something. So maybe rumor has it that they're going to put a free Costco membership for Phil. Maybe he'll get a free Costco membership. There's a Costco right across the street from Rogers Arena, so free Costco membership. $1.50 hot dogs. Like, who knows? Whatever can sweeten the deal. And the big news going on here is that my senior men's hockey league out here in Saskatchewan. They're in the playoffs, first round of the playoffs. I haven't really talked much about them in the last few pods, but they started their just finished up their first round of the playoffs. They're starting their second round here coming up, and just want to kind of glance over what was going on here. So in the first round, it's a best out of 3 series of the SPHL, the Saskatchewan Prairie Hockey League. And the teams are in the playoffs that made it. The teams are the Turtleford Tigers versus the Radisson Wheat Kings, the Maidstone Jets versus Neilburg Monarchs, and the Glasland North Stars versus the Battleford Beaver Blues, and the Meota Combines versus the Redberry Raiders. So the Turtleford Tigers versus the Radisson Wheat Kings. Turtleford Tigers win that series 2-0. Their first game, Turtleford beat them 5-4. And then they came back and they beat them again 3-2 to pretty much sweep those boys. So Turtleford is moving on. The next series was the Monarchs versus the Maidstone Jets. Monarchs finished the season first overall, and they made it look like they were first overall. They swept the Maidstone Jets first game 11-3, and then they put the freaking dagger right in their heart and finished them 8-1 to sweep that series 2-0 for the Neilburg Monarchs. So the next one was my I'd say hometown cheering team, the Glasland North Stars versus the Battleford Beaver Blues. This one was the closest one out of all of them so far. So Glasland started off, they won their first game 5-2, so it was like looking pretty good. And the next game, the Blues came back out and beat the boys and tied the series after winning 8-5. So there was a do or die game, Glasland versus Battleford Beaver Blues. And Glasland came out and had a hard-fought 7-4 victory. So Glasland wins that series 2-1. And the next series was the Meota Combines versus the Redberry Raiders. Meota, the defending champs, the top team, but they finished second this year to the Neilburg Monarchs. But the Meota Combines swept their series league, beating the Redberry Raiders. First game they won 6-1, and in the second game, Redberry Raiders tried to scrape back, but they just came up a bit short with the 6-4 win for the Meota Combines. So 3 sweeps out of 4. So everyone's moving on. Those boys are moving on to the next round. So for the next round, the Turtleford Tigers will be playing versus the Meota Combines. And this, oh my God, this is the one I'm kind of worried about for my boys. The Glasland North Stars are going to be playing against the number 1 team, the Neilburg Monarchs. So that one's going to be a little pretty tough for the boys. So hope they kind of pull up their socks and let's get ready for it. So that's the senior men's hockey league out in my area that I talk about and I like to follow, and maybe some of you guys might be interested. There's like a lot of different leagues around here in this little community. But yeah, so like I said, I'm cheering for the Glasgow North Stars because it's kind of close, I would say, my hometown. So let's cheer those boys on. They play tomorrow. If I can remember correctly, they play tomorrow at 8:30. So they're in Neilburg on Saturday, and then coming back to Glasgow on Sunday. So they're playing back to back. These playoff games, they just pretty much they're almost done. So they're back to back games every weekend. They just play on the weekends, usually maybe on a Wednesday. But these playoffs are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they try to just pump them out. So hopefully these boys can get some good rest, back to back. Don't hit the beers too much after a win or a loss, and just come back and finish business. I hope they do good. I'm cheering those boys on. So tomorrow is tomorrow's Saturday, and then the Canucks will be playing the Winnipeg Jets. So the Winnipeg Jets are tomorrow. That's going to be a good game. So you're going to have two of the top goalies, Demko versus. Oh my goodness! Are you serious? I'm drawing a freaking. It's like the best goalie. Oh my gosh! Top freaking goalie in the NHL. I can't even think of his. So Kyle McConnor, 19 goals for the Winnipeg Jets. Shifley, sorry, 28 assists, 43 points. So those guys are really keeping it for the Jets. But so. Oh my goodness. So they play Connor Hellebuck. Oh my god. I was just brain farting. Like, Hellebuck. So two of the best U.S. goalies are going to be playing off with each other tomorrow. Winnipeg Jets are right behind. Well, they were first in the West for a while, but they had dropped to fourth in the West. So it is a good game. It's going to be a close game, so keep an eye out on that one. But remember that Connor Hellebuck. Jesus, I can't remember that for crying out loud. So yeah, keep an eye out for that game. If you guys, big Canucks fans, let's go. That's a good game. You guys, let's keep the cheering for those Canadian teams also, because that's another thing. Keep those Canadian teams going. We want a lot of those Canadian teams in the playoffs. More the better. When we have a chance to win a Canadian team, win a cup. So they play. Vancouver plays Winnipeg at 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Western Pacific. The other game I want to kind of talk about quickly was just, you guys are going to hate me saying this, but Toronto versus Anaheim. I like to just talk because I kind of follow Toronto. People say, why you like Toronto? Toronto's trash. Yes, but everybody has to have two teams. And I like Canadian teams, but as a Canucks fan, I'm sick and tired of seeing the Calgary Flames, the Edmonton Oilers, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I can just be one of those fans like, oh, Connor McDavid is the best player in the NHL. I'm going to cheer for that team just because. No, I don't. He's a good player, yes. But I picked Toronto. They are original six. I'm not big on Montreal. And Toronto reminds me like Vancouver. And people are, what are you talking about? We're not like Vancouver. Or, we're not like Toronto. Yeah, yes, Toronto and Canucks fans are the same. We think we're the best. When we're on top, we're the best. Nobody can beat us. And then when we're kind of losing, we're trash. Nobody likes us. We suck. You know, it's the same. The only thing that's different is Toronto has way more media coverage. You know, they have all the stations. You know, they're the original six. Yeah, but really, they're like exactly the same. Very hot when they're winning. Big egos. We're the best. Nobody can beat us. We're going to win all the... They planned the parade the year before. Same as the Canucks. It's our year. And then when they lose, oh, they're trash. We need to get defense. The coach doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, seriously, listen to the fans react when they're winning and losing. They're pretty much the same. So, but Toronto is having a tough time right now for sure. They are 7th in the East. They dropped quite a bit. I'm pretty sure ever since Samsonov kind of went down to the AHL for a bit, and since he came back, he's been scraping that team some points, but they are 4 points. The Detroit Red Wings, who I think are playing a little bit better, are only 4 points below Toronto in 8th place. But there is 1 point separating the Toronto at 7 and 4th for Carolina. So Toronto has 64 points and 7th overall in the East, and Carolina is 4th with 65. So, but the bad thing is, a couple of those teams in between, like Tampa Bay and Philadelphia, have 3 games in hand. So, something to watch out for. Well, maybe you don't care, but... And top of the leaderboard in the East, as a Canucks fan, I'm always looking at who are we matched up with, is tied with the Boston Bruins is the Florida Panthers with 74 points. Same games played, 54. Florida Panthers have way more wins. They have, in 54 games, Florida Panthers have 35 wins, 15 losses, and 4 overtime losses. 74 points. Boston Bruins has 32 wins, 12 losses, and 10 overtime losses. So that's where they kind of pooched it right there in their overtime losses. They have way more, so they're only getting a couple points. They get Florida Panthers gets first place because they have more wins. So right now, it looks like we're kind of caught up into the world of hockey right there. So maybe next week we'll talk a little bit more, catch up, and see what the news is, and maybe talk a little where the rounds are for my men's senior hockey out here in Saskatchewan. So it was nice getting to be able to talk to you guys, and just remember to get out there and set the tone. Until next time, peace!